Welcome here today to Candid Conversation. Today we have Kris Riley, who is the newish executive director of Loaves Fishes.
Absolutely, absolutely.
How long you been in your role?
Since May the 23rd.
May the 23rd. So you got a couple of months under your belt.
Yeah, I got a couple of months.
Yeah, good. So Kris is great individual who really, I think is gonna really take kind of Loaves Fishes to wherever it needs to go, the next steps, right? He has some real clear vision. So Kris, tell us a little bit about your background, because folks with Back Bay that watch Back Bay's videos and Candid Conversations and Executive Director's Desk, they kind of are really supportive of our partnership that we've had with Loaves Fishes.
Absolutely.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to this point as Executive Director.
Oh, absolutely. I started off, well, first of all, when I was a teenager. I was one of those troubled teens, of course, and so being able to get with a mentor, that helped guide me and gave me some guidance, and I was able to go to school and earn my bachelor's and earn my master's degree in management and leadership. And so for me, being able to do, I was executive director for the Boys and Girls Club up in Wisconsin. That was a big, cultural shock there. But
what part of Wisconsin again?
Rice Lake, way up the tip top. And
oh yeah,
so that was
I didn't realize you were that far up in Wisconsin. That would be a culture shock.
Yeah,
that's a culture.
Yeah, it is, and cold. To say the least.
Bratwurst, beer, cold. Yeah. Snowmobiles.
Yes. And so, being able to have that, getting a taste of that work in nonprofit and on the executive level was something that really resonated with me. So that when I came back home and returned back home here, I had a couple of opportunities with the Boy Scouts as a district executive director. Yeah. Did that, enjoyed that work, and then this opportunity came for Loaves Fishes, and I just prayed about it, and felt like God guided me in this direction here to help this individual and this organization get to where we want to go and grow and do more, and being able to help a lot of more people. I liken it to being able to, when you throw a rock in the lake and you have that ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, being able to have the small impact, on the impact, but it'll have a big ripple effect, in the long term. So my goal is to be able to come here and establish something that these individuals can use long term and help them, get from their situation and grow.
Yeah. Kris and I were talking before this a bit about how our unsheltered population, our homeless population, how easy it is to get stuck or self-sabotage, and a variety of issues that kind of goes on in the communities we serve, because it's really about, and I think Loaves Fishes, I see you have the same kind of philosophy. It's not just about a hand up, it's a hand, or a hand down, it's a hand up, right?
Absolutely.
To try to really help people, like you said, different opportunities for mentoring, right? We have a program here called Bridges Out of Poverty, which hooks people up with a mentor for a couple of years so that they can kind of change their poverty or unsheltered mindset. So that's all really critical stuff.
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about what your vision is for Loaves Fishes.
Our number one mission will always be to feed the hungry. Anyone that's hungry don't necessarily have to be unsheltered, but if you're around and you're out on lunch and you want to stop by to get a plate, we're here, for that. We just feed anyone that's hungry. There's no applications, there's no criteria. You just show up, to the site and get you a plate and be full. And the food is good, got a real good chef. So, for us and for me, I guess, is being able to not only just feed the hungry, but like you said, you give a man a fish, right? But if you teach a man to fish, you make a whole different impact. Yep. So in my mind, that's what we are, visionary wise, is trying to add a little bit more to our mission and what we do. Maybe a GED program, or maybe have Bible class or a prayer meeting once a week or something like that, just to encourage these individuals. Hey, somebody, we're in your corner. We have your back. We want to see you succeed, and we're gonna do whatever we can to make sure you be successful. So that's pretty much where I visualize us going. In the future.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, because I think the people on the streets, I know we've been doing some work around kind of self-care with our staff, and we've been talking about what is it that people really want. And I think the two things that people really want, they want to be seen, they want to be heard, right? And
I couldn't agree more.
Right. So we're trying to really help our people who are unsheltered or hungry be seen, be heard, have a voice. And I think the challenge is what we've seen, and you're kind of a bit bit newer to this, but what we've seen with the population here over my year here has been that the unsheltered population or homeless population has become a bit more aggressive. And part of it, I think, is because culturally we've all become a bit more aggressive with COVID and everything that's happening, the divisiveness in this country, the polarization, and all of that is affecting our population here too. Have you seen that, or do you have any insights on that?
Well, for me, we've had a couple of incidents. When you get a lot of people in one area, it's bound to be some disagreements, right? It's bound to be some some arguments back and forth. So I have seen, since just for me being here in a short period of time, a couple of incidents. But what I will share with you is that hey, I go out there and talk to those guys. Hey man, we're doing this to help you guys. This and it's boom immediately. Sometimes they get this stigma, and nobody really wants them in the community and wants them around. But God has commissioned us to take care of these individuals, and so that's something that's important for me, and that I try to encourage my staff and anybody that volunteers with us. We've been commissioned to do this type of work. So if you're really a believer and true believer, then we have an obligation. To take care of the population, the poor, the sick, the shed in. We just have that obligation, and so I think organizations like we have is something that's vital to this community, especially the unsheltered population. And so that's why I enjoy the partnership with you guys, and I look forward to doing more great work with you. I really appreciate that.
Well, I think it's interesting too. You mentioned that as a person of faith, or people who live by faith or have a religious or faith tradition, where I always think where Jesus says, this is probably to me is one of the most profound things that I think he said about living out faith is, when did I see you hungry? When did I see you thirsty? When did I see you without clothing?
Absolutely.
And the question is, the response is, when you do it to the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you've done it to me.
Absolutely.
And I would never say that our unsheltered homeless population is the least of our brothers and sisters, because they're talented, they're amazing, they're brilliant, they have their own stories that got them where they're at, right? But I think part of it is that equity and that equality, and realizing that we're all together in this, and we're all a village, and
Absolutely.
We're all one. So that's what I appreciate about the partnership we have with you all, wherever that partnership takes us, or however long that partnership lasts, that it's important that we do this work and we collaborate and we share resources.
Absolutely. I was in a meeting the other day, and I was just sharing with those individuals that how grateful we are to Back Bay for being that partner that we can lean on. In this time, we're still looking for a building. So I'm grateful to you for allowing us, the organization, to be able to come here and serve. And I think from what I've seen, it's a mutual benefit, right? So we're able to feed these individuals, and make sure they got a meal, they don't go hungry at the end of the day, and then being able to get resources from you all, on top of that, and to help them, out of that situation, and so it's just a match made in heaven. Man.
It is. It's a win-win for everybody.
It is a win-win, right?
And because it's important to the people that we serve, and critically important. And I think the one thing that I really admire actually about you all with Loaves and Fishes is you feed the hungry, and like you said, you don't have to be unsheltered, but I know there are people out there that with the high cost of food and gas and housing and everything, that having a meal and not having to buy a meal, not having to buy that food to go to the grocery store once or twice a week can really fill the gaps, right?
Absolutely.
And means they can pay their rent, they can pay their light bill, they can pay their gas bill. So
absolutely, and I share with individuals that I speak with that, society have we have a way of sometimes looking down on these individuals, but if you just think about it and pause for a second, we just 1, 2, or 3 checks away from being in a situation like these individuals. Like mishaps can happen, and so I always try to keep that focus and make sure my staff and the people that volunteer understand that we're just no judgment zone. We don't judge anyone. However you got in your situation is one thing, but we'll feed you. We'll make sure you got a full stomach, and then make sure you're good and eat some good food. So for us, it's just non-judgmental. We don't ask any questions. We'll come out and feed you, and if you need some help, we'll refer you over to Back Bay and see what they can do, and things like that. So I think it's important for individuals to know that these are people.
Yep.
And these are people. They
Yeah,
are
exactly.
individuals. And so, you know, as long as we
Yeah.
get the word out about that and keep that mission of feeding these individuals, you know, then we'll be okay.
Yeah. They're us and we're them. And we're all, as our previous director of services used to say, a situation away from a situation, right?
And that is so true.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
true. So true.
So thank you, Kris, for your time, and thank you for joining us for
Appreciate
this.
it.
As always,
Thank you.
support Loaves Fishes and Back Bay Mission. So feel free to contact us with any questions. Y'all got a website? We got a website,
Yes,
so
yes,
we're
sir.
there.
Yes,
okay?
sir. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Yep. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.